As the density of matter increases in my thoughts, ourselves are pushed to one side, and the essence of this form remains unknown, unfelt. Why can't we wash away our existence and reach the glowing light beyond? What are we missing? We have minds, we can think, we achieve when we decisively act. Yet, we fail to grasp the purpose of our creation, the wisdom of our existence. We are reluctant to seek what is expected of us, not just requests, but the power and strength necessary for what lies beyond, which Allah creates. We are surrounded by the mundane, seemingly weak, yet capable of astonishing technical feats. We find particles that can dissolve the world in an instant, travel through space for days by combining various metals, monitor the health of a space traveler months away from us, communicate wirelessly and without visible currents. What are these? What are we becoming? Let's ask ourselves who we are, what we are doing, what we are capable of. How far does our material power extend? Yes, our material power has limits. We are created beings. Our dominion is finite. One day, the hand that appears before us will introduce us to its own power, signaling us to return to our origin, telling us to come to our senses before it's too late, to understand the center from which our actions are governed. What mind finds the force that can turn the universe to dust in an instant? Who ensures that the food we consume becomes flesh, blood, bones, etc., within a quarter of a day? Which machine can extract thousands of times the strength from each food item? It's not just the material of our construction that performs these tasks, but also the spirit that gives life to it, our humanity. Let's know and find that. Let's be that. Let's be human. Let's leave this form and examine this flesh-made machine, its fine veins, the brain and its cells, the accumulated minerals, the energies related to good and evil. Let's observe our entire bodily structure, our eyes, ears, and all organs. Who teaches them their functions? Who do they learn their tasks from? Let's fully consider the human structure and reflect deeply. Let's study the initial state and development of a child, their spiritual and physical growth. This is worth examining. Let's look at people from both internal and external perspectives. After doing these, let's see our condition. If we don't see what happens through the eyes of nature, let's strive to sense the manifestation of Allah's power and strength upon us. To recognize our humanity and discover the hidden world in the depths of our material structure, this is necessary. Let's know ourselves, who we are, what we are, where we came from, and where we are going. The purpose of this work is to present the richness of meaning and love and seriousness, created by a great person whose depth is known. This person, born and lived with passion, considered material things insignificant, always seeking the immortal existence, and carrying a mind loaded with good. It is known that he donated his house to a beggar who knocked at his door. When matter becomes the idol of people, he stamped his foot on the ground. His writings could not fit into a human lifetime. He wrote hundreds of pages for every hour of his life. He wrote these works without difficulty, having received the command to write in a vision of the Prophet Muhammad. It is said that even the pen he used to write his books was given to him by the Prophet Muhammad. Among his famous works are the one named Thirst and The Conquest of the Essence. The secret of the secret is wisdom. If one understood the truth within oneself, one would not be confined to a single belief. A wise person, if they fully understood the existence within themselves, would not be confined within a belief, narrowing the framework of faith. They become like a phantom, accepting any form they are given. In these forms, they exist without changing the essence of the void. They remain as they are, accepting all beliefs but not bound by any external belief. The divine knowledge they possess remains as it is, understanding the essence of all beliefs, seeing the inside, not the outside. No matter what external form the knowledge they possess takes on, they recognize it. Their framework is wide. A person of belief, if observed and scrutinized, becomes a manifestation of poetry. In Hadith, it is said that when people reach their places in paradise, the Almighty will remove the veil that hides His majesty and say, "I am your Lord, the Most High." The meaning of this is further explained. Those who have longed to see their Lord will then realize that they are in the presence of their Almighty God. This manifestation seems unreal to those who deny it. They protest, "How can you be our Lord?" This manifestation changes 3 times, and each time they deny it. Then the Almighty speaks to them, asking if there is a sign among them of their Lord. They unanimously agree there is. From then on, everyone will perceive the manifestation according to their capacity and belief. In the end, they accept, saying, "You are our most high Lord." This vision is described in a hadith. You will see your Lord as you see the moon. Despite this, the people of wisdom affirm the Almighty in the first manifestation, for they have adopted the supreme belief and acquired the ability for every manifestation. Whoever sees today will see tomorrow. They understand the beloved there as they are blind here. Let's elaborate on this meaning. The Quran says, in this world, but also in the other world, whoever does not open their eyes to meaning remains blind. Therefore, they cannot see the divine manifestation. My hope from the Almighty is that He keeps all His servants away from imitation and ostentation, from being bound to such beliefs. A question may arise: how is the true nature revealed to those capable of reaching the state of knowledge? The answer is that they must find a knowledgeable person who knows his true nature. After finding them, they should wholeheartedly attach themselves and adopt their qualities. For a knowledgeable person to find their lion, they must follow this path. This verse explains this meaning. Seek the means to Him. Its interpretation could be, I have servants who have found me. If you wish to reach me, follow them. They will be a means for you to reach me. Thus, by serving these people, one becomes knowledgeable of their essence, understands where they come from and where they are going, and perceives their position. The purpose of coming to this world is explained in this sacred hadith. I was a hidden treasure and wished to be known, so I created creation. However, knowing the truth is not easy until one becomes self-aware. This is explained in the hadith. Whoever knows themselves knows their creator. Those who understand take as much meaning from this hadith as their minds allow. A meaning will be explained at the proper time. This station has been beautifully described. Its details will be explained below. The one who holds in hand, sees with eyes, speaks with tongue, walks with feet, hears with ears, and controls every sensation is He. He is entirely present in every part of the body, encompassing the whole body, transcendent and exalted. If a finger, hand, or foot is cut, it neither diminishes nor lessens Him. He remains, as always, in His center, constant and enduring. If the entire body perishes, neither non-existence nor demise affects Him. To understand this, one must consider meanings beyond calculation and estimation. The meaning given for a person to know themselves is profound. The one who sees in this second manner should look to the horizons, that is, consider the universal self, the whole. This is called the universal soul, the vice-regent of Allah, not embodied in form or matter, unaffected by place or time, encompassing all existence, administering and disposing of them. In relation to this, the highest superiority and lowest inferiority are equal. He exists in every state with His essence, indivisible and unfragmented. If the sky falls or the earth collapses, He remains unharmed. For example, what harm can come to the sun that illuminates the world? In our family, no matter how many children there are or palaces built, doesn't the light originate from the sun? Each house receives light according to its chimney, and each palace through its windows. The collapse of these houses and palaces does not affect the sun, just as it remains unaffected. In the realm of the divine, no matter how many humans and animals are created, the universal soul, Ruh, remains ever-present and enduring, regardless of how many lives perish. The one who possesses this universal soul and looks towards the horizon, knowing these states, naturally understands what the second witness is. The meaning given for a person to know themselves is drawn here. Once one has ascended to this station, it is necessary to perceive one's individual soul, Qzi, as annihilated and non-existent in the universal soul, Kali, thus becoming the relative soul, Izafi. This means perceiving one's individual soul as the universal soul, and one's individual intellect as the universal intellect. This leads to the shedding of individualistic terms, realizing that everything is connected to the whole. This is the third state. Then, the person at this station continues to ascend, finding their individual soul annihilated in the relative soul, and the relative soul perished in the essence of the divine. Both the parts and the whole remain separate from this state. All actions are seen as acts of the divine, all names and attributes in the names and attributes of the divine. All beings are perceived as annihilated and non-existent in the essence of the divine. When this perception is firm, one reaches the state of certainty of knowledge, ilm-al-yakin, where no existence other than the divine is acknowledged. Today, the dominion belongs to Allah, the One, the Overpowering. This understanding follows the meaning of the verse. To whom belongs the dominion today? To Allah, the One, the Overpowering. After realizing this, one naturally perceives through wisdom that nothing exists outside the divine. Up to this point, 4 states have been described. To summarize, the first state is the inner being infused, the second is the outer world, a fact, and in the third, both the inner and outer worlds are unified, all annihilated in the essence of the divine. This station is such that one must perceive and witness all the described levels as one. The term Ibn Vakat is used for one who has reached this stage. To the one at this station, everything appears the same, and they see nothing but their essence on their path. They see everything as connected to themselves, saying, "Is there anything but Allah in both worlds? Can there be anyone but me?" In other words, everything and everyone becomes one with them, like the mirror and its reflection. Before this station, they acknowledge that there was nothing but Allah. After reaching it, they assert their sole existence. Now, at this stage, the seeker reaches a complete state of annihilation, fana, and achieves simplicity. They then attain everlastingness within everlastingness, where no state or station is spoken of. There, neither witnessing nor knowledge remains. Describing or explaining this state is impossible, as it is considered a complete state of non-existence. Even the term station is used just for the sake of explanation. The one who possesses this state knows no station, no sign, but only those with a taste for it understand through intuitive knowledge. May the Almighty Creator make this state easy for us too. When one reaches this station, they enter the realm of oneness, adorned with divine existence, knowing their true essence, and thus understanding the divine. After this, they are not bound by any external beliefs, as they have transcended them. The intended meaning here is illustrated by a poem. I did not find the path until I ceased to be. When I ceased to be, I found myself lost again. You always become nothing when you annihilate yourself. The one who understands this realizes that in both the inner being and the outer world, the one manifesting is the sole truth. There is no other. Existence is one, life is one, but the essence of truth is neither divided nor fragmented. Everything visible is the manifestation place and instrument of the divine. In the universe, from the smallest particle to the largest, the divine manifests through names and attributes. This manifestation varies according to each person's belief and understanding. In every place and state, the divine shows a different aspect. In every form, in every mind that is logical, in every heart that perceives meaning, in every ear that hears, and in every eye that sees. If it manifests in one eye, it looks through another. The meaning of all this returns to the initial statement: the seeker and the sought, the lover and the beloved, the believer and the believed are one and the same for those who understand. In truth, the one who possesses wisdom, once they know that the divine is one, does not confine themselves to a particular belief. The stories that illuminate these meanings tell of an incident. Several blind men sat in a place and discussed whether they could see an elephant. Then the elephant keeper took them to the elephant. Each one touched a different part of the elephant, one the ear, another the foot, another the belly, and so on. After touching it, they began to argue about what the elephant was like, each according to the part they had touched. This is the state of those who possess faith by imitation. They cling to a particular thing and remain confined to it. A wise person does not confine themselves to a specific belief, as they are aware of their essence. We have already mentioned this above, but we repeat it here because the topic has come up again. To be aware of one's own truth, to understand one's reality, and to know one's essence, one needs to respectfully listen to 5 things, the knowledge of which is essential for one seeking wisdom. Therefore, we take them in order. They are called the Azarati Hams, or 5 stations. It should be known that just as there is no end to the essence and attributes of Allah, so too are the worlds endless, as the worlds are the manifestation places of names and attributes. Since the manifesting is endless, so must be the places of manifestation. He takes on a new state every moment. As the verse implies, there is no end to the divine manifestation. The power of the Almighty is perfect and complete, so He does not manifest the same way to a servant twice. He always manifests anew, and the same manifestation has never occurred to 2 servants and never will. His power is great, and there is no God but Him. There is no final point for the divine manifestation, and although there are no ends in the places of manifestation, it is said that there are altogether 18,000 worlds, both as a whole and in parts. This view relies on a hadith reported from Hazrat Abbas. May Allah be pleased with him. Allah has 18,000 worlds, and your world is but one of them. We will explain all these worlds. They are gathered in 5 parts, called the Sacred Five, the Absolute Unseen, Gabi Mutlaq, the Absolute World of Manifestation, Hud Alami, the World of Non-Existence, Latayan Alami, the World of Pure Existence, Itlaq Alami, and the World of Absolute Existence, Vukut Mutlaq. As the Quran states, the keys to the unseen are with him, only he knows them. The aforementioned names are just titles of a single level. Therefore, this station is mentioned with absolute dignity and desire against everything. Actually, terms like form, attribute, and the attributed do not apply to this station, but they are used for the sake of understanding. At this station, the divine essence is exalted above everything, as it has not yet condescended to the realm of names and attributes. All names are still non-existent, buried in the divine will. The following verses describe this meaning. Indeed, Allah has no need of the worlds. Was there not a time when man was nothing worth mentioning? Your Lord is exalted above the attributes they ascribe to him. The hadiths also say, Allah was in a state where everything with him did not exist. I was a hidden treasure. These verses and hadiths sketch the plan of the described station. Regardless, for the knowledgeable, the understanding one, nothing changes. What was in the beginning remains the same now. When Hazrat Ali heard the hadith, Allah was in a state where everything with him did not exist, he said, it is still the same now. Hazrat Ali spoke as if confirming the hadith and explained another aspect of it, interpreting it. May Allah be pleased with him and many others. The station of power Sebarat is the first manifestation, the first essence. It is called the Muhammadan reality, Hakikatai Muhammadai, the relative soul, Izafi Ruh, the evident and manifest, Gaib ve Kabula Mubin. In the mother of the book, Kitab, everything is seen collectively, but in the book, it is detailed. In the station of the essence, called Umulkad, names of the realm remain fixed in their essence. This station is also referred to as the realm of great barriers. All these are names of the first degree, but each has its own existence and is not hidden from the knowledgeable. The realm of Melekut, angelic realm, is this very place, encompassing the world of symbols and imagination, the first and second heavens, the lesser sidra, lot tree, the barrier, and the recommended realm. In short, it can even be attributed to the firmament. The hidden realm specific to souls and egos is called the absolute witness. This includes the realm of testimony, the realm of dominion, the realm of necessity, the realm of creation, the realm of senses, the realm of elements, and the realm of planets, stars, and orbits. These encompass the realm of minerals, plants, and animals, and the great expanse is also considered part of this station. All the bodies in the universe are encompassed by this station. These are terms related to the realm of testimony. Outside these realms, the remaining are collectively called the realm of the unseen and the realm of command. The terms unseen and testimony are also used, and it can be described as matters of this world and the hereafter. The 4 realms to be discussed below are like 4 seas, the realms of Mulk, dominion, Melekut, angelic, Sebarat, power, and Lahut, divinity. These 4 seas are eternal and without beginning or end. Let's start from the beginning, the sea of essence, referred to as Lahut. According to the principle, I was a hidden treasure and wanted to be known, the divine, in a state of divine ecstasy, brought forth the realm of Sebarat. This is also called the relative soul. When the realm of Sebarat surged, it brought forth the realm of Melekut. The surge of the realm of Melekut, along with the described events, happened in a blink of an eye, perhaps even faster. This verse aptly describes it. Our command is but a single act, like the twinkling of an eye, or even swifter. This is the command of be, and in an instant, everything came into being. None of the created things came from non-existence. All are essentially transformations. Created from nothing means they were revealed from within the essence when willed. Nothing can become existent from non-existence, nor can the existent become non-existent. The worlds appear due to the transformation in the divine dream, like seas. Consider the seas. One flows into another, and so forth, forming 4 seas. Just as air transforms into water and water into cold, these states continue. All these are alike, taking on new forms with each transformation. For the knowledgeable, what was before remains the same now. All described realms are a sea of light, constantly fluctuating and manifesting anew. According to he takes on a new state every moment, the wave of divinity comes from the essence and returns to it. The meaning in this phrase is important. Everything comes from him and returns to him. All other matters also return to him. The verse, Allah is the truth of the heavens and the earth, suffices to explain this concept. A poem says, all worlds are cast into the sea of wisdom, reaching the divine. When the wave emerges in the sea of absolute existence, hidden and manifest, I speak the secret to the people. This wave in the sea is called the past. In the sea, eternal and everlasting existence is mentioned, and in the waves, events that appear later are named. The first existence belongs to the divine. If something appears to exist, it is counted in the realm of absolute existence. Every existing thing eventually returns to the divine. If the divine manifestation ceased for a moment, everything would immediately return to non-existence. The perfect human, Insan Kamil, will now be discussed. The perfect human encompasses all these realms and unifies them within themselves, possessing the station of the greatest name, Ismi Azam. Just as the greatest name encompasses all names, the perfect human encompasses the realms of Mulk, Melekut, Sebrit, and Lahut, both outwardly and inwardly. The perfect human brings forth the possibility from every state and manifests whatever it is in themselves. As Hazrat Ali said, you think of yourself as a small part, but within you is the greatest realm. You may think of yourself as small, but within you lies the largest realm, wise and wandering. If you go to a guide and gain understanding of your essence, you will see everything in yourself and everything. You will certainly know the greatness and superiority of the perfect human. Imagine if the 18,000 worlds were ground into a single creature. The composition would be the perfect human. This human observes the 18,000 worlds with 18,000 eyes, each world through a unique eye. They observe the realm of feelings with the eye of feeling, the realm of intellect with the eye of intellect, and the realm of meanings with the eye of the heart. Others do the same by analogy. Those who think they can observe the realm of matter with the eye of feeling are merely hopeful fools. This is known to the knowledgeable. A poem says, walk with an eye full of care, from that to this, observe. To observe the realm of the heart requires a truly divine eye. The basis for those who calculate the worlds as 18,000 is this: the universal intellect, the 7 heavens, the 4 elements of nature, and the 3 birthplaces altogether make 18. In detail, they are 18,000. Many greats say this, but in reality, the number of realms is incalculable. Let's provide some useful information related to our topic. All created beings on earth are only 1/10 of those in the water. Those on land and in water together are only 1/10 of those in the air. All beings on land, in water, and in the air together are only 1/10 of the angels in the first heaven. This comparison continues up to the 7th heaven. The beings and angels living in the 7 layers of the earth and 7 heavens are only 1/10 of the angels on the Kursi, throne. The verse, his Kursi encompasses the heavens and the earth, explains this well. Those on the Kursi, in the 7 layers of the earth, 7 heavens, and in the seas are only 1/10 of the angels in one corner of the Arsh Empyrean. All these combined are only 1/10 of the Muhyiddin angels. Since their creation, the Muhyiddin angels have not been distracted for a moment from the beauty of the divine countenance. They are oblivious to themselves and others, and are unaware of the creation of the worlds and Prophet Adam. They do not know of Iblis's existence and are completely uninformed about these matters. Among the angels is one with countless hairs on its head. Compared to it, the mentioned angels are like a pearl clinging to a hair or hand of a human. If Allah commanded this angel, it could swallow all of existence in one gulp without feeling a thing pass through its throat. This is called the angel of the perfect human. All things, angels, and celestial bodies, if placed in the heart of the perfect human, would not weigh even an atom. The believer is the mirror of the believer. The first reflection is the perfect human, and the second is the essence of the Almighty. The clear meaning is that the perfect human is the mirror of the divine. This is well known to the great guide, Muhyiddin Ibn Arabi. At the end of Fusus, he mentions the greatness of the heart, referring to Bayezid's statement, saying that the meaning he revealed is the size and greatness of bodies. I also say this: for the existence we've described as endless, looking at its creator, there is an end. If this existence were placed in the heart of the perfect human, they would not feel its weight. The greatness described by the saint is beyond number and estimation, not of the kind that fits into conjecture or imagination. It is based on taste. May Allah grant us all these tastes. Saint Bayezid, at this station, said this poem: I took love cup by cup. Neither did the wine end, nor was I satisfied. The love described at this station is identical to the beloved. With this poem, the saint informed us of the heart station and its vastness, known to the knowledgeable. If we were to describe it, we would say the heart is a mirror, constantly receiving the manifestations and blessings of the eternal and everlasting beloved. Divine blessings follow one another, descending and being accepted by my heart. Neither the love ceased nor did the acceptance of my heart exhaust. It was not even close to ending. The purpose of narrating these is to explain the effort and the station of the perfect human. Consequently, it is to expound on the majesty of the divine. A poem says, "How can one reach the eternal owner, the Almighty Allah, without knowing human nature? If all trees were pens, seas were ink, and humans, angels, and jinn we cannot see were scribes, they could not finish describing the states of the perfect human. If the times were to extend from the creation of the world to the day of judgment, even then, the fine layer on the face of the ink would not be exhausted if trees were pens, and the words of my Lord would run out before another Messiah comes, and still, it would run out." The name of the perfect human is significant. For example, in the Quran, it starts with Aleph. This book, and it is no doubt. Ahad states, human and Quran are twins. Here, the human referred to is the perfect human. The meaning of twins here refers to twins born from the same womb. Everything narrated so far is a reflection of each other. The mirror of Lahut is Barut. The mirror of Sebret is Melekut. The mirror of Melekut is Mulk. The perfect human is the mirror for all of them. The perfect human is the vicegerent of Allah and a mirror showing himself. The perfect human is a divine mirror showing the universe. There is no station that is not within the essence of the perfect human. If the wise person understood the truth in their own essence, they would not be confined to a particular belief. Reaching the described state is considered to be the perfect human. All the things we have counted so far constitute one characteristic of the perfect human. After finding this station, one becomes absolutely a place of divine manifestation, accepting whichever direction it manifests from. A person who finds this station is called the perfect human. May Allah grant us all the ability to reach this station. Think fairly, my brother. Allah has given us a great aptitude, and we are wasting it. Are we worthy? They are like herds of animals, perhaps even more bewildered. By the verse, we are lowering ourselves to the level of the group described. It is a shame for us. It is a pity for us. Becoming the perfect human is not easy, but it is possible by finding a perfect person, holding their hand, and serving them. Allah has given this aptitude to everyone, but one lowers themselves, gradually losing their potential. Become a mature guide. The real perfection of humanity is to be attached to a certain belief. But do not think that the perfect human is without sect or belief. For their sect and belief are in the divine will and the existence of the divine universe. Their belief is not a metaphorical sect or belief. When some of the saints are asked which sect they belong to, they say, the payment. Be the leader of all travelers, free from all sectarian restrictions. Some great people asked, it is said that the wise person is not attached to a special belief, but appears to the public in a certain way. Because it is commanded, speak to people as much as their minds can comprehend. If they reveal what is in their heart, they will be killed immediately. In this case, won't the wise person become a hypocrite? The answer is no. Because a hypocrite is someone who secretly has a belief and acts contrary to that belief, knowing that what they do is wrong. A wise person is one whose outward belief is true, and although it may seem contrary to what is inside, it is not. The frame of the wise is wide. Even two opposites come together in it. Although it may seem contrary to the outer form, it is not contrary to them. Allah knows best. Now, the stages of spiritual journeys and travels must be understood. It is essential to know the starting and returning point of the wise person, where they come from, and where they are going. This is related to the three journeys, or travels, that will be explained below. Here, travel refers to the spiritual journey of a person. This journey has no beginning or end, but the three travels we have chosen encompass them all. Without completing these three travels, one cannot understand themselves, find the wisdom towards the Creator, mature themselves, or guide others. Know that if a person has a real place in the divine essence, and if they desire the manifestation and appearance of that reality in this world of sensation and testimony, its first form is drawn in the universal mind, which is a divine mirror in the world of divine knowledge. That form stays there as long as the divine wills, then passes through the universal soul, then through the arsh, throne, and kursi, chair, transcends the heavens layer by layer, descends through the fire sphere, passes through air and water, and falls to the earth. From there, it passes through minerals, plants, angels, humans, and jinn. All these stages constitute the first journey until it reaches the human stage. If a person embarks on this journey without understanding where they came from and where they will return, and only engages in magic and asceticism, finding only the starting point, they will be far from finding the world of union, and will be counted as separate. As an indication, not finding the world of before separation is polytheism. As the verse says, they are like herds of animals, perhaps even more bewildered. They are included in the group described by this verse. Therefore, the travel of observation and education is called the second travel. In this travel, one must cling to a perfect guide, take off with the universal mind, and go on a spiritual journey, also called the reality of Muhammad. One must reach this through the effort and grace of someone. This is a special union, but in reality, as one passes through various distracting things, until reaching their own station, they have taken a color from everything they have passed and have adopted a useless attribute from each. That is why they are included in the group described by the verse. They are like herds of animals, perhaps even more bewildered. Once they reach the guide, the distracting morals and bad habits are thrown away, and they become as they were originally. Indeed, without being clean and pure in this way, it will certainly not be easy to reach the universal mind. Let's think about the Creator. Without finding the universal mind, one is not considered mature in the sight of the divine people. To be mature, one must reach the universal mind even while on the road. A poem says, "The wise become mature, those who are not remain ugly." When one finds the universal mind, they reach the station of men, called the reality of Muhammad. The hadith, "Allah first created my mind," means this. At this station, the righteous become colorless and become unity. A beautiful poem says, "Colorless color also becomes a prisoner." Moses gets lost in Moses without entering color. He finds a beautiful way. Moses and Pharaoh become friends. From this station, the seeker finds integrity of mind, transcends the universal soul, and becomes a sacred soul. This station is called the transition from separation to union. It is the station of those attracted to the divine. Wonder, alas, illusion and mind become useless. Many go astray at this station. Indeed, it is said that seeking unity without separation is deviation. If one stays at this station and does not progress, they cannot guide another to perfection. At this station, it is extremely delicate and is the station of travel in the divine and with the divine. Because at this station, the righteous traveler has thrown and scattered their existence and atoms into the ocean. They have no news of themselves, the world, or others. From now on, they cannot enter any legal constraints with any satanic methods. However, it is also necessary to leave this station and move on with the help of Allah. In this station, being a guide to the mind becomes abundant, and then one must reach the world of everlastingness. This journey begins with the truth hack, and is also the station of everlastingness, Bika, with the truth. It is a journey from the divine to humanity. After finding the realm of unity, one transitions into a state of separation. Essentially, the traveler on this path, for the purpose of guidance, spiritually descends into humanity, taking on human qualities and mixing with the people from their station. As our prophet said, "I am only a human like you." In this station, there is eating, drinking, sleeping, and marrying, but without excess or deficiency, maintaining a perfect balance and moderation. A poem says, "The right path is where there is neither excess nor deficiency." A person who reaches this station becomes virtuous and upright, adhering to religious laws outwardly, fully complying with them. However, apart from obligatory worship, they do not get attached to various types of worship. They are continuously engaged in prayer, both in the realm of multitude, kasret, and in the realm of promise, vadet. Their external world is close to people, while their internal world clings to the divine. It is quite difficult for ordinary people to understand such a person. If a person outwardly shows much worship, they are deemed pious and devout. However, the maturity of the perfect human is not visible to the physical eye. It requires a divine sight to see. Only those who have reached perfection can recognize and know the perfect human. This is a different circle that comes after the circle of beauty. Hazrat Ali explained, before reaching the realm of beauty, Jamal, differentiation is polytheism, shirk. If there is no differentiation at the end of the realm of beauty, it is preparation. To find differentiation in the realm of beauty is considered monotheism, tawhid. These three stations are the meanings of what we want to express. There is no need to delve into further details. The descent of the comprehensive person to this station of differentiation is considered progress. Upon reaching this station, one becomes self-aware, truly knowing oneself. Since they are connected to the real existence, they are not bound to any specific belief. Allah knows best. Despite this, as Hazrat Sheikh explained, no one is questioned or interfered with for their beliefs. They do not criticize or deny them because they have internalized all beliefs. In essence, the wise person is a collector of eyes, meaning they comprehend the collecting truth. Therefore, in every belief of the collecting truth, there is a face. This is called the absolute I. The true sage is not confined to any particular direction, as there is no absolute without a direction. Therefore, whatever is worshipped, it ultimately leads to that absolute face. This is true whether the believer knows it or not. The Sheikh educates, and Allah makes all things a mirror of His essence. The wisdom is that nothing other than Himself should be worshipped, no one else should be loved. Divine jealousy would require this. It is a jealousy of truth, not of comedy. Without a doubt, the things that are the same as Him, Allah willed that things be created. He did not put others in His essence, but they can be grasped with good manners, and narrow hearts are built with them. The above matters are expressed in the known translation of this verse. Your Lord decrees that you worship none but Him. More explicitly, the meaning expressed is, O Prophet, the decree and command of your Lord is that you should not know, see, or be a servant to anyone but Him in love, praise, and glorification. Indeed, it is not possible to worship anyone other than Him. Even the worship of an idolater ultimately reaches the truth, as their existence too is from the truth. To understand this, one must realize and know that all existence is from the truth. Our speech is a mirror to them. After understanding this meaning, the wise person does not adhere to a specific belief nor criticizes or attacks others' beliefs. Because they see everything linked to a chain of command, they understand that they are nothing but command and will. The only existing thing is that. If the wise person appears to every name manifestation, they see the beliefs and manners of each aspect as appropriate. A poem says, if the piece of ice had fallen from its place, you would be comfortable with your family. No matter which way you turn, the face of divine manifestation is there. This is revealed in the meaning of the verse. Whichever way you turn, there is the face of Allah. In truth, according to the principle, He takes on a new state every moment. There are stations and levels. In each station, a different face is shown, so every beauty is different. In every beauty, there is a different love. In every love, a different smile. In every smile, a different work. And in every work, a different allure. In every allure, a different grace. And in every place, a different starting form. Therefore, those who are captivated by love fall into various states, become manifestors of the attributes of Gavs and Jalal, become manifestors of the attributes of Basit and Jamali, enjoy, immerse in pleasure, find joy, and get carried away. These attributes take various forms in the sight of love, but that love does not reject any of them. In this case, how can the sage confine themselves to a specific belief? The beloved of love, whichever attribute they assume, whichever form they take, and however they manifest, certainly does not fall into negligence and does not cling to only one face. They also see the beauty of every face, and while clinging to one, they excuse others. Their circle is wide. In belief, they understand that clinging to only one face is still part of the divine play and accept it as the reality of one of the divine names. As the noble Allah stated in this verse, there is no creature on earth but that upon Allah is its provision. This verse is explained from the tongue of the brain. Everyone is a manifester of a name and is under its disposition, whether Jalal, Jamali, Hadi, Mutal. Whatever it may be, its right path is according to the name it manifests. The same is true in matters of belief. Even if one's belief differs from another, in essence, it is the right path according to the name it manifests. Its right path is that attribute. For example, The straightness of the bow is known by its crookedness. The right path according to the name of Hak is straight. Even if the name of Adi finds it crooked, it is still considered straight. Therefore, since the sage understands this meaning, they do not attack anyone's religion. A question arises here, and only those familiar with the secret of fate can answer it. It is easy for the knowledgeable. The question is, if all worship and other states occur according to the manifestation of the divine names and one does not have a choice in doing or not doing them, it seems that everyone is compelled to do what they do, which would be predestination, jabber, and injustice. The answer could be as follows. From the examination of the question asked above, two situations arise. First, the essences are not pre-made. Secondly, knowledge follows what is known. When these two situations occur, even a little, the secret of fate becomes apparent. It is necessary to describe the two things mentioned earlier in a manner true to their essence. Once these are understood, with Allah's help, the secret of destiny Qadr also becomes apparent, for they are key to understanding it. The meaning of the word essences mentioned earlier is this. The forms of things exist in the divine sea of knowledge, but their limited forms, known as essences, are also referred to as the constant mirror Ani Samid. In this state, the knowledge of the divine is the same as his essence. This is true even for the perfect human, Insan Kamil, and similarly, knowledge is a mirror to the essence in other entities. In these essences, the facet that comes from the truth Hak is still present in their essence, according to aptitude and capacity, without deviating from belief and other states. Disobedience, disbelief, obedience, all these are things desired according to the capacity of the essence. Whatever is desired from the truth in proportion to one's aptitude, that is given. For example, the aptitude of wheat is to be wheat, barley to be barley, and millet to be millet. If barley could speak and complain to the sower, "Why didn't you make me wheat?" the response would be, "Your aptitude and capacity were for barley." Moreover, to expect wheat after sowing barley seeds would be absurd. According to these explanations, everyone's essence and constant state, as it was in eternity, whatever state and characteristics it had, and whichever name's manifestation it fell under, can be shown in this world. Everything becomes apparent in the way it was given in eternity. Divine knowledge has no impact on it. Those who make things according to their rightful place, as per the rule in the verse, the knowledgeable are aware of this secret. Whatever state a thing is in, is known in the divine knowledge concerns it, and it appears as necessitated by that name and attribute, and knowledge is dependent on the known. This is meant to express the matter of decree and destiny. The meaning of decree, kaza, is this: all things, as they were in the divine knowledge, the judgment given according to those states. The meaning of destiny, Qadr, is this: if the existence, according to the aptitude of the entity, is to be made piece by piece later, as advised, and appears in the world of manifestation. The appearance of those things will also be according to the aptitude and capacity of where and in whom they appear. A question can be asked. From the explanations made so far, it is understood that everything that happens according to a person's aptitude. States like disbelief, faith, belief, distinction, goodness, and other types, all of which are to appear in someone, are dependent on their state and request from the truth Hak, and indeed, they appear according to the existing aptitude and capacity. Even what we have said is created and done by the truth. Isn't this a kind of compulsion? The answer to the above question could be this: for those who examine all aspects of belief, aptitude is not pre-made or created. Since a thing's essence is not made, its inherent aptitude and capacity should also not be made. Essences are what they call divine forms, in which there is yet no making or creating. Whatever one's constant state requires, they are compelled to do that. The secret of divine destiny necessitates it. Everything acts according to its aptitude and fixed state, knowing it, and cannot oppose it. When the time comes, things that are to happen, happen. If a person senses a lack in their path's aptitude, they only feel sorrow. This formation is within their own secret. There is no compulsion in it. Compulsion is of two kinds. First, after adhering to all divine commands and avoiding prohibitions, without proving any power of their own, one should know all actions as from the truth Hak. This is very good. The second compulsion is when a person commits all sins, neither knows prohibitions nor recognizes commands, and if they attribute all their corrupt actions to the truth, it is an indecent insult. This kind of compulsion is very bad. When a person of realization was accused of committing tyranny against the truth hack, they were asked, "How did you escape?" They replied, "I left nothing but him in the realm of the truth. Since all the realm is his, to whom would tyranny be done? Everyone uses their realm as they wish." These explanations are sufficient. Let's move on. According to a narration, Anas bin Malik served the Prophet for 10 years. He says, "I served the Prophet for 10 years, day and night. I never heard him say, 'Why did you do this?' or 'Why didn't you do that?' This behavior of the Prophet indicates his awareness of the secret of destiny. In this context, Hazrat Sheikh Muhyiddin Arabi says, during the time of invitation, Allah keeps some secrets hidden from his prophets. One of these is the secret of destiny. Because when it is understood that there is no benefit in inviting someone inclined towards disbelief and evil, the invitation cannot be made, and one becomes helpless and powerless. This secret was revealed to the prophets only after the invitation ended, and the disbelievers, believers, hypocrites, and the righteous became apparent. The wise person is always changing states. This can be explained with the words of Hazrat Muhyiddin Arabi. If the wise person remains in a state encompassing all beliefs, they risk being limited by their Lord. They should always change colors and walk, imagining that they are with their Lord. However, this imagination is not reality. It is their own assumption. In other words, the manifestation they create in their disposal is with their Lord, not with all the Lords. When the wise person reaches the clear meaning of everything, transitions into emancipation and unrestrictedness, and accepts that imagination as the truth, worshipping it, they can become limited, which is a cause for concern. Because if they become attached to a state of belief, they are not safe from fear. This fearful state continues until certainty, yaqeen, is reached. However, they are still with the truth, both in essence and attribute. I have given a little explanation of the state of certainty here. It should be known that the state of certainty has been divided into three: obtaining certainty through knowledge, obtaining certainty through seeing, and obtaining certainty by experiencing the true essence. Let's explain these with examples. Knowing the existence of bravery is to reach bravery through knowledge. Seeing someone else's bravery is to reach it through seeing. If one performs the act of bravery themselves, they taste and truly understand what it means. Divine knowledge also proceeds in this way. Those who understand will understand. Here, it is necessary to explain how the truth that encompasses everything in the condition of emancipation occurs, how to get rid of fear and find the state of certainty, and what kind of belief one should have to achieve this. But first, let me present an introduction. It should be known that the truth that encompasses everything, as Hazrat Sheikh Muhyiddin Arabi described above, is called the comprehensive truth, hakikat kamia, which is known by many names and interpreted as tolerance. The wise have interpreted it as love. Sheikh Iraqi and those who followed him are among those who made this interpretation. Other greats interpreted it as the eternal power and discourse. Among those who made this interpretation are Muhyiddin Arabi, Sadruddin Kanawi, and those who followed them. Both Muhyiddin Arabi and Sadruddin Kanawi had a purpose, the single essence and the single truth. A poem says, "Beauty is one, but the ways of worship are diverse." Everything points to that beauty. The mentioned truth is expressed in Arabic as existence, in Turkish as varlık, and in Persian as esti, but in reality, that existence is transcendent from all. It is said that referring to it as existence, love, light, soul, and the merciful are all names of its essence. That is, the existence of the truth hack is absolute and independent. Those who interpret it as being bound to a condition have tied it to a condition. By merging belief and emancipation, they have drawn out the meaning of that existence. But while attributing it to another, needing freshness is said, because this is a matter of taste. According to this situation, such a person should be considered who finds the widest union, being the protector of everything, and can unify all levels within themselves. The mentioned levels are both the same and transcendent from all of them. In this case, they are both limited and absolute, both comprehensive and transcendent. By emancipation, they are dignified and independent from everything. Neither flattery nor need applies to them. This is the meaning affirmed by the verses, Allah is not in need of the worlds. Your Lord is above what they attribute to him, the Creator, the Exalted. This is also explained by the following hadith, Allah is Allah. There is nothing separate or equal to him. In this station, there are neither names nor notes nor attributes. It is transcendent from all. The one who travels and manifests in every level is the same in every level, by virtue of being. The collector and medium, it is the existent referred to by various names and attributes, depicted in images and called with names. Each descent to a level is a sign of maturity. This descent is illustrated in the sacred hadith. You did not visit me when I was sick. You did not feed me when I was hungry. The divine accepts opposites in attributes and levels because, for it, there is no such thing as opposition. None of the divine attributes are such that they are mixed with their opposites. This meaning is understood by those who are ill. What is narrated here is a reminder for the wise, and this much is enough for them. The meanings narrated are more expressed in a verse. He is the first and the last, the outward and the inward, and he knows everything. We have explained as much as possible what emancipation, itilak, and restriction takyid are. It should be known that if one remains attached to emancipation, this becomes like monotheism tayyid. However, one should not bind it to any state, because the divine encompasses every level. This is expressed in a Quranic verse. Whichever way you turn, there is the face of Allah. According to this judgment, if there is a face of manifestation in a level, believing in one and denying the other covers the truth, and this is considered disbelief. For instance, an idolater who dedicates their worship to an idol and ties their state to it denies others, and therefore is counted among the disbelievers. If a Muslim denies any of the entities in which the divine manifests, the religion does not call him a Muslim. A poem says, disbelief is certainly covering the truth. Disbelief covers itself with the truth. The meaning narrated is hidden in the verse. Your Lord decrees that you worship none but him. Another poem says, you are the highest of the world, the vast of the lands. Since you are existence, to the essence of emancipation, one who reaches is called Arif, Wali, and the people of the truth. For them, there is this Quranic verse, be aware that there is no fear upon the Wali servants of Allah, nor shall they grieve. When the wise, the Wali servants, join this group, they become free from fear and danger. O Allah, grant us these states. This is the final state of those who recognize themselves as creators and attain a sense of knowing against Allah, the Exalted. That is, absolute worship of the truth. Those who worship a specific, defined being or worshipping an idol they have given life to in their minds. Their worship is of various gods. A Quranic verse says, are many different gods better, or Allah, the One, the Overpowering? Certainly, the One, the Overpowering Allah is better. In his dominion, there is no one else anyway. There is no one to respond to his challenge. He asks and answers himself. Indeed, this contains an important implication and sign that Allah, the One and Overpowering, should manifest himself to his servants so that in his view, all things perish. Then, through his face, everything else turns to non-existence. Everything on earth will perish, only the face of your Lord, full of majesty and honor, will remain. According to this Quranic verse, one must die before their time today. This death should be by choice. Whoever experiences this state sees the destruction of everything other than the truth and perishes themselves. This annihilation is complete, the station of Finafila, where nothing remains but the divine beauty. A servant who reaches this station stays there for a long time, overwhelmed by a great ecstasy. There, neither time nor place, neither the celestial sphere nor angels exist. Only the truth remains. At that time, Allah, in his existence, calls out, today, to whom does the kingdom belong? No one responds to this call. Then again, Allah, in his majesty and essence, proclaims, to Allah, the One, the Overpowering. No one responds to this call either. Again, Allah, in his majesty and essence, proclaims. The wise person is buried in non-existence in these events. While this is so, the truth bestows a new existence upon him, painting him in divine colors. All attributes, both internal and external, change, and that day everything becomes different on earth and in the heavens. All appear for the existence of Allah, the One, the Overpowering. The real meaning of the verse becomes clear. After that, Allah grants the wise person a divine eye, ear, and tongue, starting a dialogue of question and answer. Thus, the servant, after passing through the state of non-existence and reaching the realm of existence, exists with the existence of the truth. The real understanding begins then. But at the first manifestation, there is neither knowledge, nor gnosis, nor consciousness. It is the realm of complete non-existence. The mentioned Quranic verse is better understood in this state. It is not right to express its deep meaning more than this. There is no permission. Those who read it read without speaking, without a heart, and hear it without ears. This cannot be called certainty of knowledge, ilm, for there is a state of certainty of sight, ain, and certainty of truth, haq, therein. Once the servant reaches that station, they become free from fear and hope, embodying a state of inspiration. The one who guides and leads to guidance is the same. For them, any attribute you mention is applicable. Those with the gift of spiritual discovery, Elikasf, have understanding against all sects and stations. They have insight into both divine stations in the beginning of creation. They are not ignorant of anything. Their knowledge encompasses everything. Those with the discovery of Allah and creation do not speak in vain. They have complete discovery of what they speak about. Then, they speak. The speaker knows from which station, from which source they speak. They do not criticize any lone speaker. They see them as victims, not as creations made in vain. For Allah has not created anything in vain. The coming of the wise person to this state is based on many reasons, the foremost being knowledge of all the divine names. They know that all stations and levels are necessitated by divine names, and all things are manifestors of these names. They also know that the appearance of divine names in any place depends on the aptitude and capacity of that place. Furthermore, the wise person is granted the method of interpretation of the deep meanings hidden in the names. They read, understand, and explain. Thus, they can comprehend everything's existence. Their frame is wide, encompassing everything. Our Prophet, in a sacred hadith, said, "The first word given to me is restraint." This means, speak little, convey much. The wise person is the heir of the Prophet, having reached the reality of that great Prophet, conforming to the will of Allah. Understand these said things. The wise and those who have reached perfection, when they say he, they become that. And if they speak in a state of perfection, they do not remain in between. They become that. You should know that what is described here is among the secrets of finding the state of gnosis. Not everyone can understand this, nor has there been any indication of it. The reason is either a gravitational pull or fear, as there is a possibility of danger in this. For in this station, the attribute of creation becomes apparent. Because when they say he, it is the divine force and power that speaks through the tongue of the servant. Let's dwell a bit on the above meaning, as there is an issue of divine creation here, and the attribute of creation of Allah is manifesting. The depth of the words conveys this meaning. But in this station, words need to carry a bit more of reality and intention. When a person reaches the level of perfection, it is expected that they annihilate their entire being, burying it in non-existence. This is a kind of death, but it is a death before death, as mentioned in the sacred hadith. When the owner of perfection does this, they die a willful death, without leaving any trace of their external and internal existence. Throwing themselves headless and footless into the ocean of he, they drown, disappear, and their name and mark are no more. They themselves become a he. For the drop has fallen into the ocean and become the same as the ocean. The ocean referred to here in terms of he signifies the realm of unity, love, absolute existence, the ocean of light. What becomes clean becomes pure, becomes distant, and becomes unseen. Here, he we mention is he, whose meaning is that person, but our intention is the essence of Allah. In other words, the owner of recognition confesses, all existence is Allah's, even the existence of the servant is Allah's. Then, they surrender all existence and their essence into the ocean of Allah's essence, and there is nothing else left. This is what is needed. Let's continue with the name he. When they say he, they should know that it means the named, that is, when they say he, without leaving any name, image, time, place, or mark, they must know the essence of that existence, the named, and completely mix their being with he. After the intended meaning is achieved, whether the servant says, he, I, we, they, or you, all refer to his essence. Most wise people have not even hinted at this meaning, for it requires a response, and there is danger here, the greatest being the possibility of attributing creation to oneself. When they say he, creation follows that. Sometimes, one enters a realm without substance or harm. The truth of the word is this. If the person saying he has not matured and reached a perfect guide, they can make a mistake here. To explain more clearly, if the true calm guide has not drunk the cup of love from the hand of the guide and has not found annihilation in the essence of Allah, when they say he, they speak according to their own delusion, conception, and pretense. They imagine the existence of Allah and give it a kind of form. Because they have not stripped themselves of existence and reached emancipation, they restrict Allah according to their delusion and conception, and thus, they create, attributing creation to themselves. In the end, they worship the Creator they have created themselves. Though the hadith, I am as my servant thinks of me, indicates that the Exalted is present in the creation of the servant has entered and manifested in their time of creation. Still, there is no real side to it, as there is no limited thing that does not have a face of absoluteness. Here, perhaps the one who creates and invents is the servant himself, but the judgment is according to the belief of the servant. For this God is limited, certainly, but this is not it. The wisdom of saying there is danger here is this. The real maturity is this. When the servant says, he, they completely strip themselves of their existence and reach annihilation and non-existence, not attaching themselves to anything, not turning in any particular direction. It is only then that they worship the absolute Allah, the highest of all gods. Otherwise, they become a slave to the God they have imagined in their delusion, falling under the threat of the verse, "Have you seen the one who takes his own desire as his God?" and entering into danger. Regarding creation, it should be known here that the short meaning of the term creation is the manifestations that bring events into existence. The complete person is the one who, paying attention to their breaths, becomes like a guard to the treasure of the heart, standing there and not letting any stranger in. The heart's treasure is the library of Allah. They do not allow thoughts other than Allah to enter. According to the hadith, the ways to Allah are as numerous as the breaths of the creatures. There is a way to Allah in every breath. Accordingly, the wise person should take each breath directly from Allah and give it back to Him. It is permissible to interpret this breath as the self. According to this, whether breath or self comes out of a person, it returns to its origin. There is no color in it. The action and thought of the servant color the breath or self. Opening the subject of the heart, it is necessary to keep the heart clean from things that do not comply with the will of Allah and cleanse it from bad memories. For the heart of the servant is the treasure and library of Allah. The human is its treasure keeper. Thoughts and ideas other than Allah are thieves and bandits. Their way to the heart must be blocked. As stated in a sacred hadith, the heart of the believer is the place of divine manifestation. The heart of the believer is the throne of Allah, the treasure of Allah, the mirror of Allah. Accordingly, if someone lets the treasure of Allah be captured by bandits and stolen by thieves, they are busy betraying, for they are considered a traitor. The ruling for traitors is that Allah does not love traitors, as He said in a Quranic verse. A poem says, "When the light of Allah goes out in the heart, it is extinguished." For those who have reached the proximity of Allah, thoughts that come to mind are like open current of words and deeds in those who have not reached that state. Those close to Allah are responsible even for baseless thoughts. As stated in a sacred hadith, the one who brings the finest thought to mind is interrogated with the same finesse. Therefore, many good deeds done by righteous people are considered mistakes compared to those who have reached the proximity of Allah. In reality, Allah does not consent to anything other than His essence entering the heart of His servant, for it is the place of divine manifestation. This is explained in a hadith. The heart is a divine Kaaba. Whoever allows thoughts other than Allah to enter their heart fills it with idols. Although thoughts are created by Allah, the servant is subject to questioning due to their negligence. The advice of this subject is hidden in the meaning of this Quranic verse. Allah is engaged in a different action at every moment. According to this rule, Allah always shows new manifestations. With each manifestation, Allah's command descends upon the servants, visiting their hearts. Allah's command, or the manifestation, is like a hidden guest that comes from Allah and settles in the believer's heart. When this guest arrives, and if the servant's heart is filled with Allah, the guest encounters Allah within the heart and merges with the existing reality there. This topic is further clarified in the Holy Hadith. Neither the heavens nor the earth can contain me, but the heart of my believing servant can. Interpreting this, a lover of Allah once expressed in a couplet, "The heart looking towards Allah is a shining pearl." The heart is the manifester of the name and the named. The heart is like a falcon, a phoenix. The heart is the essence of the existence of Allah. From the union of this divine command with the pleasant meaning in the heart, a holy and beautiful outcome emerges. It comes formless and shapeless, just as it returns to the essence of Allah. The wisdom in the words again returns to and culminates in Allah. It comes from Him and again returns to Him. The meaning narrated here defines the command. This arrival is not only through the soul but has an ascent transcending everything. The departure is the same, a transcendent return. In this coming and going, neither the orbit of the celestial spheres nor the dimensions of the elements see it. They see a transcendent light and know nothing beyond. When the hidden guest of Allah's manifestation arrives, if the servant's heart is engaged in remembrance and contemplation of the Supreme Allah, they have hosted that guest. If, when the manifestation arrives, it finds thoughts of Allah there and encounters an angel in the heart, a form unique to angels emerges from their union. It travels the path of the souls, flying up to the lote tree, and settles there. If, when Allah's guest arrives, it encounters satanic things in the heart, a form resembling a fiery spirit emerges, taking the shape of a blackbird. It travels the path of the devils but only goes as far as beneath the moon, for there is no path beyond until the day of judgment, where it waits. If, when this hidden guest arrives, it finds beauty, it takes on a good form, flies a good flight, and reaches paradise, matching the temperament of the form it entered and stays there until its owner arrives. There are many more things not needing detail. Those descending manifestations take a good or bad form according to what they encounter in the heart and go to the appropriate place. Therefore, for the human to properly receive and send off this manifestation, they must always nourish good thoughts. In essence, a human is a house of divine work. The essence of Allah constantly manifests, and the real commands descend upon the servant. Its descent is tasteless and colorless, as is it. However, Allah creates various colorful and diverse forms according to the human's color, belief, interior, and thought. The purpose of these creations is to declare the attribute of divine creation. The mature person should never be heedless. They should strive to send back the divine manifestation as tasteless and colorless as it came. The real issue is to respect its rights and be able to send it back as it came. All actions, thoughts, movements, beliefs, imaginations, and even every particle of breath inside and outside a human do not go in vain. Every action, good or bad, has its own aptitude and capacity, taking various forms according to their nature. In the other world, they appear in the forms they took here. The owner of those actions and deeds finds pleasure or suffers pain accordingly. What happens here becomes apparent there. As the Quranic verse says, whoever does an atom's weight of good will see it, and whoever does an atom's weight of evil will see it. This is explained in a narration. Allah created His own existence, but minds could not comprehend it, and they denied it, for they were minds capable of contemplating material things. The mind that actualizes in matter is deficient in understanding higher things. To understand this, a mind that goes beyond matter and reaches the beyond is needed. In reality, when it is said that Allah created His own existence, it may not seem right from an external perspective, but it is true in terms of meaning and is a state that makes everything powerless. What we need is this meaning. An important issue that minds do not understand is this. Whoever attributes a form to Allah in a miracle, even if they worship it, worships the formless entity, which is also Allah Himself, not another. With its creation, the heart mirror shows Allah according to the servant's imagination, belief, and understanding. Coming to the main point, in this imagination and thought, it is not that Allah created Himself, but certainly, Allah created His own existence. Everything created is by Allah, and there is no creator other than Him. The existence that appears in the servant's capacity is also among the things created by Allah, for Allah created them as well. The deep meaning of Allah created His own existence also includes this. Another aspect that should be mentioned is this. The words ignorance, creation, existence, and creation each indicated different meaning. Thus, the meaning of creation by Allah is to make, the meaning of majesty is to form, the meaning of invention is to bring into existence, the meaning of evidence is to show the work of power, and the meaning of creation is to bring the unseen into being. Although they carry slightly different meanings, they all lead to the same path. The aim of all is that Allah has created His own existence. Another interpretation of Allah has created His own existence is this. It explains His existence according to the thought and imagination of the thinking servant. For instance, when a person holds a mirror in front of themselves, they see and recognize their own existence in it. There is a unique pleasure in seeing oneself in a mirror. Therefore, Allah created this universe and Adam, making them mirrors of his own existence. It is important to note that in the mirror of the universe, he sees as living. In the mirror of Adam, he sees and observes his own face. Here, Adam means human. He created the universe and Adam, making them mirrors of his own existence, meaning he manifested his beauty in those mirrors, displaying his own face in that mirror. For this reason, he became the observer, fell in love with his own beauty, became captivated, and engaged in supplication. He turned away from other aspects and became engaged in giving and action. He displayed his own beauty to himself and manifested it. Here, the observer, the observed, the act of observing, and the mirror are all one. A perfect human being is such a pure, clean, absolute mirror that they observe the absolute beauty of Allah, unbound in his essence, in that mirror. The mirror of the perfect human reveals the manifestation of Allah. Other manifestations depend on the belief, acceptance, and capacity of the servant. The one who speaks the truth is Allah, and he guides to the right path. The Allah that is believed in, according to the servant's thought, is the God made by the servant. This is an attribute whereby the servant creates their own God and praises it accordingly. They restrict Allah to their own narrow sphere and thus disparage the belief of anyone who does not conform to their own belief. The reason is not adherence to Allah's desire but to their own imagination. If they were fair, they would not do this. In doing so, they create their own special deity and disparage everyone who does not conform to it, for they are ignorant. If they were like Junayd of Baghdad, may Allah have mercy on him, who said, "The color of water is the color of its vessel," they would be a wise person who submits to every belief. They would see and know the manifestation of the truth in every form. The person who imagines their own special deity is only the owner of their own thoughts, neither a scholar nor a wise person. For this reason, Allah said, "I am as my servant thinks of me." This means, however my servant imagines me, I become that for them. Whether it is emancipation or restriction, it does not change. The God believed in various ways is a definite and counted God. The God that fits in the heart of the servant is that one, meaning a face of the manifestation of Allah, not another God, and there is no other. It cannot even fit in the heart. It is as if it is the same as all things. In fact, there is no other. It is even the same as the heart itself. To say whether it fits or does not fit in its own existence is also permissible. So, think and understand what I have explained above. For easier understanding of what we have explained, let's give an example. Suppose a lover's beauty is looked at, and 100,000 mirrors are placed around her. The lover appears 100,000 times, but in reality, there is only one. However, she appears bright in some mirrors and dim in others, straight in some and bent in others. If someone sees the face of their lover in one mirror and denies the others, they have not become wise. A wise person acknowledges all of them. Whatever mirror they see her in, they affirm it. They even see her without a mirror. A poem says, "So many faces appeared as hers, revealed in her own beauty, she herself became the desirer." These examples do not need much explanation. The more the wise person thinks and enjoys, the more examples they find. Let's give another example. Suppose someone has been in a dark place for a long time without seeing the sunlight, and one day, colorful and various jars are placed around them. When the morning sun rises, each jar receives a different light. According to the light touching each glass, a different color falls inside. That person may claim, the color of the sun is green, red, and fall into various assertions, imaginations, and delusions. But the wise person knows the truth of the matter and acts accordingly. They know that the color of the water is the color of the jar. They also know that the light illuminating everything is the light of Allah. The Quranic verse, "Allah is the light of the heavens and the earth," beautifully explains this situation. For the wise person, the only face appearing from the mirror of both worlds is the same. Thus, every wise person has reached a different perfection. Some say, in the end, there is nothing I have not seen the essence of Allah in. Others say, there is nothing in which I have not seen the essence of Allah inside. Some see Him before everything else. Some wise people say, only Allah sees Allah. From this issue of sight, 5 forms arise. After the wise person finds these 5 states and gathers them in their existence, 5 more states arise, whose details are not appropriate to enter into and are forbidden to reveal. Whoever desires should cling to the skirt of the perfect human and ask from them. For he who does not taste does not know is the principle. It cannot be done with writing, and may Allah assist. With the help of Allah, the writing is complete.